Hello and welcome to MicroBot. This game was developed by Naked Sky Entertainment and published by Electronic Arts. It is available on the Xbox Live Arcade as of late December 2010 and became available on PlayStation Network early January of 2011. This is a twin-stick shooter where you control a fourth-generation microbot, that is a microscopic robot, developed by the fictional company Microhexon. As you control this microbot, you are charged with the task of ridding a human body of various infections, some of which are natural bacteria, others are bacteria that have been infested by former generations of microbots by the same company that have since been corrupted by being in this human body. So of course they all want to destroy you, and that's the premise of the game, is, well, to destroy them before they destroy you. The game is very reminiscent, I'd say, in terms of how you control, to something like Geometry Wars. However, where Geometry Wars you're restricted to a rectangular space, this is a much more organic feel in how you actually move about, and as well the atmosphere is a lot less empty a space. You're in a human body, which is very organic. So while the gameplay, the movement is generally the same, the environment has a pretty big impact on how you fight these bacteria. There you can see the former generation of microbots have infested these bacteria, which were in the previous stage not attacking you at all, and now they are attacking you relentlessly. So while the microbots are shooting, you have to deal with the defenses of the bacteria as well, and different bacteria, of course, some are quicker, some are more numerous, some have more defenses, so it takes longer to destroy them. So as you're playing the game and you uncover more variety of these bacteria, you have to learn how to fight them pretty on the fly, and usually you'll be confronted by a plethora of the different types, so that can really impact how well you do. The currency in this game, which you see collected there, is they're atoms, essentially, and there's a few different types of atoms that also not only count as currency, but they will heal you. And you start it with 3 health bars. One shot essentially depletes 1 health bar. So the game can be pretty challenging because there's not a lot of forgiveness for getting hit. The atoms, and what you're collecting here actually is tokens to unlocking very, quite a bit better items, and you can only collect those tokens by defeating not unique, but a specific type of bacteria. To get back to the atoms, your currency you can use to either upgrade parts or buy new ones that you have unlocked. So different types of items. You have weapons, you have propulsion devices, auxiliary unit, and you also have defense. Of course, unlocking them takes quite a while, but once you do, you have quite a big combination of different items that you can choose, and really that's one of the things I really like about this game, is how versus something like Geometry Wars, you can really make the microbot your own, and you can make it your own several times over. Each time you play the game, it's going to be different, because you could say, I want to have a very weapons-heavy microbot, or I want to have one that's more agile and quick. You can add all propulsion devices, and there's actually an achievement for making it through a level with nothing but propulsion devices, or you could be all weapons and stuff like that. So it really depends on how you play the game, and even which of the 5 levels of the game you're on, because some might require more offensive skills and others more defensive. But again, it all depends on how you play the game and what enemies you're specifically fighting against. One of my favorite things of the game is actually the music. It's very, it is very background in nature. It's not the high point of the game, but for that reason I almost enjoy it, because it's very fitting to how you or to the moments and to the levels. When you're fighting hordes of bacteria, it picks up, and when you're moving around in solitude, it's a lot more calm and serene and stuff like that. And I think it really works well with the environment. And as well, the environment itself, graphically, there's a great presentation to it. While you would typically think, the insides of a human body are pretty grotesque and just vulgar, and you don't really want to think or see, or, you know, it's actually, the way they do it, it's very accurate, but at the same time, it's very clean, and it seems like, I don't know, it's kind of peaceful in a lot of ways, and it's an enjoyable environment to be moving through. Not something you typically see in a video game. And that's another reason why I think it makes this type of twin-stick shooter a little fresh, a little original, something more tolerable with more replay value. As well, there's 5 levels throughout the game, all of which are in 5 different major areas of the human body. So again, when you move from level to level, it's a completely different atmosphere, as you'll see shortly. In terms of movement, the game is typically, it's very tight controls, just in movement, and a lot of that also changes depending on, again, how you equip your robot. If you want them to be able to turn more quickly or be faster, various things like that, you can try out different propulsion devices or a different amount of the propulsion devices. So there's a lot you can do to make the game easier for you. As well, the game features a lot of, not a lot of, but some puzzle elements, all of which are pretty simple in nature. They're not puzzles that are hard to solve or to figure out what you have to do. It's just doing that can be a pretty hefty task at times when you're confronted by all these hordes of bacteria. Usually these puzzles are just engaging switches, but bacteria will work against you, and they might disengage switches or just essentially kill you before you can even get to a switch. And yes, you will die a lot throughout this game. It works with the checkpoint system, so when you die, you just go back to the most recent checkpoint. However, it can be quite a ways between checkpoints, so dying typically can get you frustrated if you're doing a lot, because you have to repeat a large chunk of the level again. Even more frustrating, though, sometimes, good frustrating can be the boss fights, where it takes a little while to figure out exactly how you're supposed to beat them, or just their movements, because, again, when you're working with the health system being so small, so unforgiving, you don't want to get hit. So sometimes you'll put down the controller in a rage, and you'll say, you know, I can't do this, I don't want to do it. But actually, another redeeming quality of the game is just that it's kind of very addictive, and even when you put down the controller, it's still on your mind, and you'll come back to it in 5 minutes time with a new idea of how you can beat it, or just a renewed vigor, and you'll say, I can do this, you know, just play flawlessly. And that's what a lot of it is just playing as flawlessly as you can. And by flawless, it's just, you know, not dying. It's not always gonna look clean, but it's fun. As well, throughout the levels, there are white blood cells that can actually, they work as an aid. If they see you destroying other bacteria that's attacking the body, then they see you as an ally and they help you. Of course, if you shoot the white blood cells, they will attack you. So it's a very solid game. For $10 you can't really go wrong, so I would definitely check this one out if you have the means. Very addictive. It doesn't take a huge amount of time to beat, but there's a lot of replay value as well, and there is cooperative, which you might want to check out. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I'll catch you later.